Pierre Poilievre is back, and not just scraping by. He's returned to Parliament with a vengeance, thanks to a stunning recount victory that shook Ottawa and sent Liberal strategists into full-blown panic mode. What the media barely whispered, and what the establishment hoped you'd ignore, has now become impossible to deny. Pierre didn't just win, he won big. The man the elites wanted erased from the House of Commons has come roaring back with a renewed mandate and a growing army of Canadians behind him. And with every step he takes back into Parliament, the old political order is trembling. For weeks, there was silence. No headlines, no outrage, just a quiet hope from Liberal insiders that Pierre's seat would remain vacant, his voice silenced. But behind the scenes, Canadians were watching. They saw the sketchy margins. They heard the whispers about ballot discrepancies, and they demanded transparency. This wasn't just a routine recount. It was a revelation. When the final numbers came out, the truth couldn't be buried any longer. Pierre's victory wasn't a mistake. It was a mirror reflecting what millions of Canadians feel: frustration, fatigue, and fury at a government that no longer listens. This moment isn't just about one seat or one politician. It's about what happens when the political class underestimates the people they claim to represent. The Liberal establishment cheered when they thought Pierre was done. Mark Carney and his advisors were already drawing up plans to steamroll opposition in Parliament. But they forgot something critical. Pierre Poilievre isn't just a politician, he's a symbol of resistance to carbon taxes, media manipulation, globalist overreach, and a $500 billion spending spree that has left the average Canadian drowning in debt. His return isn't an accident. It's a warning. Let's not overlook the man who made this possible: Damien Curec. In an era where politicians cling to power like their life depends on it, Damien did the unthinkable. He stepped aside. He gave up his seat so Pierre could return. Not for a promotion, not for a backroom deal, but because he believed it was the right thing for Canada. That kind of integrity is rare in politics. Damien, just 35 years old, has shown more courage and clarity than most lifelong careerists ever will. His sacrifice speaks volumes, not only about his character, but about the urgency of this moment. And what a moment it is. For 3 long weeks, Parliament operated without its sharpest voice. Mark Carney used that silence to dodge questions. Liberal ministers coasted through committee hearings without challenge. The media spun the quiet into control. But now, all of that changes. Pierre is back, and the House of Commons just became a hostile environment for complacency and corruption. Every time he stands to speak, Liberal MPs shift in their seats. Carney lowers his gaze. The mood changes, because now the truth is back in the room. This isn't just about accountability, it's about survival. For the Liberals, that is. They built their post-election strategy around Pierre's absence. Their playbook? Push through sweeping new legislation, spend wildly without oversight, and present a manufactured sense of stability to a weary public. But the recount shattered that illusion. It reminded Canadians that even in a rigged game, the people can still win if they fight for it. And with Pierre back in the spotlight, the fight has only just begun. The recount didn't just return a seat to the Conservatives. It returned hope to the Canadian people. Hope that their voices still matter, that their ballots count, that the truth can't be buried forever. Because if Pierre's initial loss was a counting error, what else is slipping through the cracks? How many other ridings flipped due to flawed margins? How many stories were written based on faulty numbers? The recount wasn't a footnote. It was a full-blown alarm bell. With Pierre back in Parliament, expect fireworks. He's not returning to play nice or to smooth things over. He's returning to expose the bloated bureaucracy, to grill every minister responsible for the skyrocketing cost of living, and to tear into the censorship legislation that's being paraded as online safety. He's returning to demand a full audit of the $500 billion in spending that the Liberals can't seem to account for. And every time he speaks, Canadians at home finally feel like someone is standing up for them. For the worker, the trucker, the small business owner, and the young family being crushed by inflation. The Liberal front bench is rattled, and it shows. For weeks, they pretended Pierre's absence was a non-issue. Now, they can't finish a sentence without being fact-checked in real time. Every committee session, every question period, every late-night debate, they're going to be forced to defend their record. And with each passing day, that task becomes harder. The fantasy they sold of being the responsible, stable party is unraveling fast. They didn't win this election with ideas or policy. They won it with media fog, fear, tactics, and fatigue. But now, Pierre is here to clear the air. The Liberals' only strategy now is distraction, delay, silence. But Pierre isn't easily distracted. He's focused, relentless. He cuts through spin with data, through noise with facts. He's not here to play the Ottawa game, he's here to change it. And that's why they fear him. Not just because of what he says, but because of what he represents. The average Canadian who has had enough of paying more and getting less. Damien Curec's selflessness won't be forgotten. It stands as a challenge to every MP in Parliament. Serve the people, not yourself. Curec didn't wait for polling data or political calculus. He saw a moment of national importance and acted with clarity and courage. That act alone could define his legacy and possibly pave the way for even greater roles in Canada's political future. A seat in the Senate? Absolutely deserved. A future cabinet post? Certainly possible. But more than any title, Damien has earned the respect of a nation. Pierre's return is a reset, not just for the Conservative Party, but for every Canadian who's felt voiceless for too long. The message is simple. You are not alone. Your struggles are real. Your frustration is justified, and your fight is far from over. With Pierre back in the House, a new era of opposition begins. One driven by facts, powered by people, and fearless in the face of elite backlash. This isn't just a political comeback. It's a cultural one. A reminder that politics isn't reserved for insiders, lobbyists, and legacy media. It belongs to the people. And now, the people's voice is back on the floor. So if you thought Pierre was done, think again. This is just the beginning. The lion is back, and Ottawa will never be the same.